The American Psycho, aka Patrick Bateman, aka Governor Gavin Newsom of California, released an unbelievably cringy video announcing a new law that bans gun manufacturers from marketing to children. I'm going to break this video down and expose how this law is really an attempt to sue gun manufacturers out of existence.
To members of the United States Supreme Court, to right-wing Republicans all across this country, do you have no common decency, respect, or even common understanding that kids should not have one of these?
In the video, he's holding an AR-15, but the gun he's referring to is a little .22 rifle made to look like an AR-15. Not that it really matters, because kids have been shooting AR-15s for decades with their parents instead of beating kids over the head about how to change their gender. Some parents rather teach their kids how to actually gain a skill. If I'm not mistaken, don't we put kids in martial arts classes to learn respect, discipline, self-defense, and structure? Why is a low-budget Patrick Bateman crying over a little .22 rifle? Kids have been using .22 rifles for decades to learn how to shoot, to hunt, and to participate in competitions.
These girls are grade schoolers. Most are still losing baby teeth.
Nice!
Perfect, look at that.
Attending what's called the Little Girls Youth Training.
Put that safety down. Good girl.
Part of a growing trend promoting shooting sports for kids.
When you teach kids that young, you take the mystery out of the gun. They know to respect it if you teach them to respect it. Okay, it's all safe.
I'm Addie's godfather, and I also train her with her martial arts and her competitive shooting.
My favorite part about training is that I get to learn more about it, and I get better and better every day.
The amount of time right now that she trains per week is about an hour a day for competitive shooting and another hour a day for karate.
Yeah. Ready? Pretty excited to see if we can get Zach his first squirrel and his first kill ever. So he's pretty fired up. What do you think, Zach? Been excited?
Hope I get one.
Yeah.
So let me get this straight. It's okay for California state senators to tweet about passing a bill that would make Drag Queen 101 as part of their K-12 curriculum. It's okay for little kids to dance on stage for money like they're strippers alongside drag queens. And it's okay for teachers in California to manipulate children into changing their gender identity. But make a gun that's designed to teach kids firearm safety and to learn how to shoot? Gavin, I have 35 jars of mousse in my Amazon cart. Newsom wants to start clutching his pearls in horror. At this point, if you don't see that the Democrat Party is against your ability to protect yourself under the Second Amendment, you're simply choosing not to see it. Why is he making this a partisan issue? Are there not pro-2A people who vote Democrat? I know a ton of liberal gun owners who own AR-15s, yet he's only addressing the Republicans. This is a shaming tactic. This is also an attempt to destroy gun culture in this country because it's 10 times harder to get people to vote for gun control when they've been shooting since they were kids.
This is an AR-15. This is a weapon of war, a weapon of mass destruction. But you're out there promoting and allowing marketing of these weapons of war to our kids.
This whole the AR-15 is a weapon of war argument is rather dumb. If the AR-15 is a weapon of war and should only be used in war, why do police officers have AR-15s? Are they at war? Aren't they peace officers? And if your answer is because criminals have AR-15 so they need more firepower, this is also stupid. Civilians are more likely to encounter criminals with AR-15s before the cops show up. So we need them for the same exact reason the cops do. This is a 6-hour P320 M18. It's literally one of the handguns our military uses right now. So this is technically a weapon of war. This 1911 has literally been used in war since 1911. But the AR-15, not once has it ever been used by our military at war. You're starting to see how dumb this argument is? Soldiers have guns because someone might try to kill them. Police have guns because someone might try to kill them. Secret Service have guns because someone might try to kill the president. In 2019, there were 21,570 murders. So us civilians carrying guns, we do so because someone might try to kill us. Whether someone is trying to kill you in Afghanistan, in a grocery store, or in your home, you can call it a weapon of war, a weapon of peace, or a cisgendered weapon of toxic masculinity. I don't really care. because if someone is trying to kill me, I want the best gun possible to stop them. Because you know what? Gavin Newsom's creepy serial killer looking ass isn't going to be there to stop him for me. So call them a weapon of war all you want. Makes no difference, because the Second Amendment didn't say you can keep and bear any gun that's not a weapon of war. It said the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
Supporting and celebrating gun manufacturers who put up advertisements like the ones you see behind me. These are cartoon skulls with pacifiers in them. His and her pacifiers, cartoon skulls of children with pacifiers. This is what the right wing is marketing and promoting at the behest of the gun industry in this country. The good news, if there's any, is that this ends at least today in California.
I'll be honest, I think the logo is pretty shitty. Not because I think it's wrong to use cartoons to market a rifle that's geared towards kids. I just think it's an ugly logo. But when cereal brands make cereal for kids, they put cartoons on a box. When companies make children's clothing, they put cartoons on the clothing. This is a rifle geared towards children. Of course, they're going to use a cartoon as a logo. It's marketed for children. So unless you have a problem with kids shooting guns, which I don't, and a lot of other people clearly don't, what does it matter that they're using a cartoon to market this rifle? They're not hiding the ball. It's a rifle designed for kids.
Yeah, I just signed a bill so the gun industry and those that are backing this industry can no longer market to our children. The idea we even have to do this is ridiculous. This law, by the way, goes in effect immediately because decent human beings, people with common sense, know that we should not be allowing this kind of disgusting marketing to go on.
Now we're at the meat of what's really going on. And I'm going to try to explain this as simply as possible. This law is nothing more than Gavin Newsom and the anti-gun lobby's way of destroying the gun industry. And here's how. Right now, if someone uses a gun to murder someone, under federal law, you can't sue the maker of the gun simply because someone used their gun to commit the murder. To anyone with a brain, this makes sense. You can't hold a company liable for a murder they didn't commit. The reason this law had to be passed is because the anti-gun lobby was filing a bunch of frivolous lawsuits against gun companies. They weren't trying to win the lawsuits. They were just trying to inundate gun companies with so many lawsuits that they would go bankrupt trying to fight them all. The federal government realized this would bankrupt the industry, and for no reason. So they implemented a law that said you can't even file a lawsuit against a company if the only reason you're doing it is because someone used one of their guns in a murder. You have to remember, the anti-gun groups are backed by billionaires, so they can file lawsuits all day. And honestly, a lot of lawyers will do it for free just for the publicity and to virtue signal. Initially, the families of the Sandy Hook shooting tried to sue the company that made the gun used in that shooting, simply because it was used in the shooting. However, the court said nah, because that federal law that I just told you about stopped that. However, there are exemptions to the law, and one of them is if the manufacturer violated state or federal laws governing the marketing or sales of guns. You see where this is going? The lawyers representing the Sandy Hook families argued that the company's marketing influenced the shooter to take his mother's rifle and slaughter those kids. Even though the court said that the argument was a long shot, they could still sue and have their day in court because it fell into one of the exceptions. The only reason Gavin Newsom is passing this law is not because he's so outraged about rifles made for kids. It's because he needs a state law governing the marketing or sale of guns that can be used by the anti-gun lobby to circumvent the federal law that was put in place to stop these types of frivolous lawsuits. It doesn't matter how much of a stretch the argument is. If a gun company has anything remotely that looks like it's being marketed to kids and a kid uses the company's gun to commit a crime, they can sue the company. Now keep in mind, they consider anyone who is 1 to 19 years old a kid, and the large number of gun violence in this country is committed by people in that age range in our inner cities. So if someone in that age range murders someone with a gun made by a company that has any marketing that can be remotely interpreted to be geared towards anyone in that age range, now they can sue that company. And remember, they don't have to win. They just have to bring enough lawsuits to keep these companies in court and bleed them dry. That is what this is all about. So don't fall for all the political pearl clutching. This is about trying to destroy the gun industry. Nothing more, nothing less. And by the way, just so y'all remember, one of our popular selling designs is the I'm the Militia, as you can see right here. But now we also have the hat version of the I'm the Militia. So Make sure you head over to shop.mrcolion.noir and grab your hat, grab your shirt.
You know, we talk a lot about empowerment in this country, except for when it comes to the Second Amendment. However, I can't think of anything more empowering than having the most effective tool to protect you and your family. So help me spread this message by liking and sharing this video with everyone you know. And don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment, because the Second Amendment, when it said militia, it wasn't talking about the government. It was talking about you. Also, if you want to know where to find the I'm the Militia shirt and merchandise, click the I'm the Militia link in the description section of this video.
And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And most importantly, make sure you hit that bell symbol.